hope you're having the best day. Today I am here to show you a product that I have recently tried out that I am obsessed with, and that is the Tropeaka Lean Protein Powder in Salted Caramel. So I had seen this protein powder promoted by a couple of my favorite YouTubers, Sarah's Day and Elsa's Wholesome Life. And I'd been seeing it for months and I was like, okay, I gotta finally buy it and test it out because I've actually seen a lot of mixed reviews online. Literally the day after I posted this, I saw someone saying that they really didn't like it. And so I was a bit worried. I was like, oh my gosh, what have I got myself into? But I actually love it and I'm gonna tell you why. So for me, the true test of any protein powder is whether or not it tastes good with water and with nothing else. So just in a shaker bottle, if it tastes good. So I'm gonna taste that for you now. So I have done it before and I already know it's good, but I'm gonna do it again so you guys can see. So I've got my shaker bottle now. It's just one of these little ones. And on the packet, it says to put 2 tablespoons. So I'm gonna try it just with water. So the other thing I like about this protein powder is that it actually doesn't come with a scooper. So I have just put in my own tablespoon measurement that I leave inside the pouch. So that's 1 tablespoon and 2. And so I leave my little spoon inside the pouch so it's always handy when I need it. And then I'm just gonna go fill this up with some water. So I filled mine to about 300 mils. Then I just put that on, make sure the lid's closed and shake it. All right, let's give it a go. It's really good. You can definitely taste the salted caramel in it, which I love. And I would say like the initial taste, you can definitely taste the protein powder, but as it kind of settles in your taste buds, it just tastes like salted caramel, which is really yum. It's definitely a lot better than some of the other protein powders I have tried. I would say if you like macro mic protein, but you don't always want peanuts in your protein, this is a really great alternative to that. Personally, I do love macro mic, but after a while, sometimes you get a bit sick of the peanut flavor. Also, if you are allergic to nuts, this one is nut free, so I would recommend this, whereas macro mic has peanuts in it. Other protein powders that I've tried just don't taste as good. So if you are wanting a yummy tasting protein powder, definitely give this a go. And I have made 3 delicious recipes with this protein powder. Honestly, salted caramel works so well in cooking. So I firstly made a salted caramel smoothie. It's so simple and so thick and creamy and delicious. And then secondly, I made protein pancakes. These ones have 30 grams of protein in it, which is a lot for a breakfast, for a pancake, something that's kind of like, you wouldn't think of it as the healthiest food. Actually, this recipe is super healthy. It's also gluten-free, and just stay tuned for that. Then finally, I made protein bars. So I actually purchased one of Tropeaka's protein bars because I wanted to see what it tasted like, and to be honest, I loved it. It's a great snack to grab and go, but I wanted to recreate that myself and to add a little twist to it. So I think the ones that I make are delicious. I've had a couple of friends try it just to make sure that they think it's delicious too, and it has got their tick of approval. So if you want to try that recipe, stick around to the end. It is honestly so simple. It has really minimal ingredients and you can keep it in the freezer for up to a month. So it's really handy to just grab and go whenever you need it. And with all that said, let's get straight into the video because this is gonna be an epic one. I'll see you on the other side. Bye. The first step is to put 1 cup of water into your blender. Then into that, add 1 frozen banana. It is crucial that your banana is frozen, otherwise you will not get the thick consistency. Then we add in 2 tablespoons of the Tropeaka Salted Caramel Protein Powder, as well as a dash of cinnamon and 1 medjool date. You just want to blend that all up until it's all smooth. And that's it. It's so simple, so quick and easy. It has over 18 grams of protein in it, so it's a great protein hit to get in after a workout. But even if you haven't done a workout, it's honestly such a delicious, thick, creamy smoothie that you could have as a light breakfast or a second breakfast or just at any time of the day as a nice filling snack. Now onto these delicious caramel protein pancakes. So first up, we're using some buckwheat flour. This is a gluten-free flour, but you could really use whatever you have at home. Then we go in with 2 tablespoons of protein powder, 1 teaspoon of hemp seeds for those omega-3s, some baking powder, as well as 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. To that we add in half of a banana, not a frozen one here, just a regular one, as well as 1/3 of a cup of plant milk of your choice. I used oat milk. Then I added in 1/4 cup of water just to thin it out a bit. Then I blended it up, and as you can see here, not everything mixed completely, so you'll just have to get a spoon out and make sure that all of the flour is getting mixed through. And so I noticed that it was a bit too thick, so I added in a splash of oat milk and about a tablespoon or 2 of water. So just make sure that you check it before you start cooking, that it's the right texture. You want it to be runny, but not too thin, not too thick. You can kind of see it here when I pour it. So I lightly sprayed a non-stick pan with a little bit of olive oil spray, just to make it easier when you're flipping. But if you have a really good non-stick pan, you don't really need that. It's up to you. Definitely if you don't have a non-stick pan, use some oil though, or some vegan butter. Then I put some really thin slices of banana and I just topped it with a little bit of the mixture. So I love cooking banana into the pancakes because it just adds this really delicious element to it that I am just obsessed with. I actually have an old recipe on my channel for CHOC protein pancakes. I'll link it up here. It's honestly so yum, and in that one I used oats instead of buckwheat flour. So if you don't have any buckwheat flour and you love chocolate, check out that recipe. This recipe is actually so high in protein. It has over 30 grams of protein, and that is not including the optional topping of peanut butter. So that would also increase the protein amount to probably like 34 grams of protein. But honestly, even if you're not too worried about how much protein you're having, this is actually such a great recipe for pancakes, and I highly recommend you give it a go. So as you can see here, I put my pancakes back on the pan just to heat them up for a couple of seconds before serving. And I like to stack mine and then add some toppings on. I had a little bit of leftover banana and some fresh strawberries, as well as some peanut butter. But if you don't want peanut butter on top, if you can't have nuts, just put some maple syrup on, or even, just maple syrup tastes great anyway. So it's up to you, but they are honestly so good. The texture is amazing and they cook through all the way, which I love. Sometimes I've made pancakes in the past, like fluffy pancakes, and they're not really cooked fully, but these ones cook perfectly and they don't take too long to make either. So I highly recommend giving this a go. So now what you've all been waiting for, the CHOC Caramel Protein Bars. The first step is to soak around 200 grams of medjool dates in warm water and then take all the pits out of them. You want to make sure you do this because you do not want big chunks of pits in your protein bars. That will not taste good. But you want to keep that date water, don't get rid of it yet because we are going to add some of it in later. Now we are going in with 1 cup of oats. I've used quick oats here, but you can use any type, as well as 8 tablespoons of the Tropeaka Salted Caramel Protein Powder. Then I went in with 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds and 4 tablespoons of peanut butter. Just a side note here, I did add more peanut butter later because the consistency wasn't quite right. I have all the exact measurements in the description box below, so you can check that out after you watch this video. Then, as you can see, I added in some of that date water and blended it all up. And you can see here the texture is a bit crumbly, so I added in that extra peanut butter, blended it up again. And now you can see it has formed kind of clumps, and if you pat it down with your spoon, it should stick together. And that's when you know that it's all perfect and ready to be molded into some bars. So there's 2 methods to creating these bars. You can either put it on some baking paper and roll it down with a rolling pin like I'm doing here, or you could press it down into a tray.
Basically, you can do whatever you want, but I prefer to do it this way because you can get the bars really compact because you're pressing it down with the rolling pin, but it's up to you. And then you just slice it into some long, thin pieces and cut it up. My pieces weren't super even, but it should make about 18 small medium protein bars. Alternatively, if you wanted bigger protein bars that are higher in calories and I guess also higher in protein, you could make it a lot thicker and make 9 or 10 protein bars from this mixture. I've listed below the nutritional information for the 18 bar serve as well as the 9 bar serve. So for this bar, it's about 6 grams of protein, the 18 bar serve, but if you were to double up and make it thicker, you'd have about 12 grams of protein per bar. So it's up to you what you like. These are about 120 calories. So if you made them double as big, it'd be about 240. So I guess it's just, however, like if you want a bit more calories, a bit more protein, you can make them thicker. It's up to you. So once they've all been cut, I put them onto a tray and then it's time to melt our dark chocolate. I've used about 50 grams of Lindt dark chocolate here and just put it in the microwave for 1 minute. Then you just want to stir it all around so that there's no lumps. And I pushed all of my bars together so that I didn't lose too much of the chocolate when I'm putting it on top. So as you can see here, you just take a bit in a spoon and you just sprinkle it on top like so. You can do it however you want. If you were making this in a tray, you could just pour all of the chocolate on top and then let it set in the fridge for a while. But I wanted to make this swirly pattern because I thought it would look cool, and it did. So that is how I made it. You can also make this without chocolate. You could just completely omit the chocolate if you don't want chocolate, but I personally think it tastes amazing with a bit of dark chocolate, and dark chocolate is pretty good for you if you don't have too much of it, so I would definitely recommend trying it out. So I just put them into some Tupperware with some baking paper underneath and I store them in my freezer. It's really convenient because you can literally just grab 1 bar whenever you feel like it, and they last for so long in the freezer, like probably over a month. But I usually get through them in about 2 weeks because they are so delicious. But yeah, it's just a really great snack to grab and go. And I hope you try this out because these are honestly so amazing and filled with delicious ingredients.
Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below what was your favorite recipe. Also, if you are new here, it would mean the world to me if you could hit the subscribe button and click that bell notification button so you are notified every time I post a new video, which at the moment is every Wednesday and Sunday. So I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you are well. I hope you are safe and healthy, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.